Hello, everyone. So we have completed our audio element of multimedia tools. Now we are going to start with the animation element of multimedia tools. Animation is one of the parts of multimedia that was included uh, in the recent years. Recent years means like when animation became really popular and became one of the parts of multimedia. It have variety of roles like, for example, cartoon animation, animation for, you can say, infographics, animation for showing or demonstrating the public service announcement, animation for advertisement. So animation is used for many different purposes. Now, animation, to animate anything, there are several software, but Adobe Animate is one of those software that is more of a simple to use, widely used, and industry standard. So the software for animation we will use for this element of multimedia is Adobe Animate. Now, those who have never worked on animation or any other application that is based on video editing or visual effects. So, for them, just for a brief introduction, Adobe Animate is based on timeline. It's a timeline based application. So, if you have never worked on any application that is based on timeline, so for those, just let me explain you a bit. Timeline is basically like a small slider on your screen which shows you keyframe. So in a bit we will go through that and we'll see what is the timeline and how to work with the timeline. It's very interesting application. So once you will learn how to work in Adobe Animate and how to animate, you will enjoy your time on Adobe Animate, and I hope it you will be curious how to do different sort of animation. And once you will create something inside Adobe Animate, you might want to keep on doing or keep on making different other animation. So it's a very nice application. So let's go. We do have here Adobe Animate, and this is what you see when you open Adobe Animate for the first time. So the version I'm using here is Adobe Animate 2021. So basically it is called 2020 version, but it is for 2021. Like it's a latest version of Adobe Animate. It is not named as 2021, but it is kind of a newer version. So here on the screen, you will see new to animate. This is what you will get when you will start Adobe Animate for the first time. The message you will get is new to animate, yes or no. So if you already know how to work on Adobe Animate, you can just simply press no. But if you're opening Adobe Animate or starting Adobe Animate for the first time, so it's always better to press yes, so it can give you a short tour of the software. So what I will do here is that I will do the same thing. I will just press yes. I'm new to Adobe Animate because you all are new to Adobe Animate. And let's see what is inside Adobe Animate. So let's press yes. So as soon you will press Adobe Animate, it will start loading up a small screen. So I hope you have understood by now that what is the power of Adobe Animate and what it do. It's basically all based on timeline, and it's a animation creation software. So let me close this introductory video now. And here we have our first screen that says learn to animate in just about 10 minutes. Try a hands-on tutorial. So this is one of the the first thing that you see over here. Now we have here pig run, then we have farmer walk cycle, we have icon animation, we have amusement park showing animation, we have animation animating a doll, and then we have at the end animative windmill. So once you have Adobe Animate, you can go through each one of these and see what it do. But for this class, I will skip this and I will start with my own introduction just to give you a very simple introduction about it. So I will just press skip. And if you don't want to see it again, you like when you open it for like next time, so you just click on do not show again. Okay, but I'll keep it as it is. I will just press here. Now, for those who have been working in on Adobe Animate using Adobe Animate, there were few options or a few features that were missing from the last versions, but in the newer version they were included, like advanced rigging, asset panel, and these kind of things. So this is for it's just showing you around here what's new inside, so you don't have to worry about it, especially if you're working on Adobe Animate for the first time, because this is basically for those who have been working for a very long time, and it's just like an introduction to the new features like to them. But at this stage, you don't have to worry about this, because anyhow you are starting this for the first time. So I can just go at the end and then I can press done. Okay. Now hands-on tutorial. We have created ball animation, then we have a created dancing fire. Once you have installed the Adobe Animate on your computer, you can go through these. Okay. But what we are going to do is that we are going to create our own like a small video file here. So simple, what you need to do is that once your Adobe Animate is open, you will get all these tutorial files at on the side. And apart from this, we have learn option, because right now you're in the learn option. Then you have home, which will take you to the home option. Apart from home, then you have create new and open. Now in the home, you will just see same thing, the learn, and some like a learn option over here as well. And now at the bottom you will have different formats, presets to open a new file. Like suppose you want to work on a full HD file, you want to work on an Android device, or you want to create an advertisement like a banner advertisement, or you want to do work on iPad and or any sort of other like canvases that you want to open. What is canvas? Basically, we have worked on Photoshop. Now in Photoshop we have document window, that is the white empty area there where you work on. Here that white empty area that you will be working on is known as canvas. So that's what the canvas is. Now these first four are the pre-made presets. Like suppose if I will press on full HD, I can make any sort of HD file, 4K or HD, which is 1080p, or like the standard one. Android, I can use any Android device or iPhone or iPad. In banner, I can make any banner. Banner is basically for online advertisement. Okay, square online advertisement, or letterboard online advertisement, or skyscraper online advertisement. Now here, this is specifically for iPad. So it says Air SDK is no longer shipped with Animate. In order to open the file, please enable Air publishing. So Air is basically a standalone software that allow you to create a standalone file that you can run on any PC. So I don't have any cross button, so I have to press this. That's all. We'll open another file, which I will close it now. Okay. Now canvas is more of our interest. If you click on canvas, you will see what sort of a canvas you want to create. Like a normal canvas or a WebGL standard or WebGL extended. WebGL is basically online like like graphics based file. Like you have OpenGL or you have DirectX, like DirectX. Same, just like that. You have WebGL. So we are not going into these advanced details. VR Paranorma is basically it creates a 360 degrees file for virtual reality applications. AS3, I think this is, if I'm not wrong, for augmented reality, but I'm not sure about this one. We will keep it canvas. So I will click on the canvas. And once I will click on canvas, I will have an empty canvas here. That's all. Now, one thing you have to that there is a particular size here. Sometimes what happens, you don't need this size, so you have to change the size. Now, we'll change the size later, but first let me introduce you the interface of Adobe Animate. Now, what do we have here? We have here like top panel, left and right panel, and the bottom panel. Now, here is the timeline which I was talking about. This is the main thing. Now, on the top panel, you have the file menu, just like in the Photoshop, you have edit menu, you have view, insert, modify. We'll go through in each class in details. All of these simple to use and nothing like overwhelming or intimidating about it. Here we have similar tools that you have that we have in Photoshop. Okay, we have selection tool. We have two different sort of selection tool and sub-selection tool. Then we have here transform tool, free transform tool, just like we have in Photoshop, and gradient tool, just like we have in Photoshop. Lasso tool, same thing, just like in Photoshop. We have fluid brush, then we have classical brush. So there is a slight difference in like between these two. So I will explain once we'll move to that. Eraser to erase anything. Then we have shapes, just like we have in Photoshop. Okay, a little bit different way we like there is a slight difference the way we make shapes inside Adobe Animate. We have line, we have pen, we have text, we have paint bucket, we have asset warp tool. So we will see all of them one by one in detail. It's kind of look like same if you have like if you are comparing it with Photoshop's, it's almost the same. Now, on the right side, we have here on the top assets, properties, color, align, library. Very simple. Okay, if I don't have a large screen, I usually use dual screen, so I keep most of my like panels undocked and I like put them on the other screen. But for this class, I will keep them docked, and you can see they are very simple. If you select any one of these, they are not long list of like features here. Just very short. Like properties, if you go nicely, they are arranged. Properties about tool, object, frame, and document. Okay, so just like that, color, you will have only these sort of colors here: linear gradient color, radial gradient color. So very simple. I'll just keep it solid color. Alignment, different sort of alignments you have. Library. Now, what is library here? Whatever you import, suppose if you import any image, if you create any file, any changes you do, it is already saved inside the canvas. Okay? Automatically, it is saved inside the canvas. So that's sorry, in the library. So automatically, it is saved inside your library. So whatever you import here, whatever you create here, it is shown in the library here. Now let's go to assets. Now assets are what? These are pre-made objects. You have pre-made characters here. You can use any one of these for practice purposes and for different other things. Okay. Then we have here different types of characters. We have characters, we have props. Like suppose if you want to work on a ball, or you want to work on a doll, or you want to work on a fire, pre-made. You have backgrounds if you want to work on backgrounds. And if you want to see all of them, they all are here. But we will not go to the to all of it, because otherwise our asset will be filled. So in characters, we have different sort of characters. We have object-based characters. We have rigs. Now rigs are what? These are bone structure, predefined bone structure. You can use any one of these bones and create your own structure over it. But we are not going to go in too much detail, just like basics. Then rigged objects. These are the same thing, but these are rigged objects. They are not the rigged bones. And if you see all, if you want all of it, you will get all of it. But we'll keep it objects right now. Okay. Now these were animated assets. So just close it and we'll go to static. Static is what? Just like pictures. They are not animated. They're just pictures, like a still. You have props. Okay. You have backgrounds. And you have all of them. So in characters, you have rigged characters. Basically, that there are no rigged characters right now. They're only objects. Same thing with the objects. Okay, rigged objects or no object. But mostly you will see things that are like static, not moving, not animatable. So you have to create your own rigs and stuff inside the static. Animated is you can use right away for the animation. Sound clips, if you will go, there are different sort of sound clips here. So you have background scores, like suppose if you want background music, so you can see. Okay, so any one of the background music you can use for your animation or sound effects, like these kind of sound effects for Foley's, like we call like sound, like cartoon effects, something like that. The long list of them, you can use any one of these here. Now these are your assets, and these are what given to you by Adobe Animate, so you can use them for practice and for creating non-profitable projects. Okay, so that's what we have here. Now inside the properties, just like in Photoshop we have properties. Properties are what? Any object that you create here or import, its properties can be changed through the property panel here. Okay. Now, here we have right now the property that says property of tool. Now, these are the tools. So if I will go to brush, so it will give me the property of brush tool. If I will go to text, it will show me the properties of text. Okay. Text tool. If I will go to pen, so it will show me the properties of that. So wherever you are going, it is showing you the property of that tool. So this is what we were talking about, the property. Now let's create something here so that we can see how the properties actually work. So I will take a classic brush and start drawing something with the black color here. Okay, like a face or something. Okay, so just like a rough item over here. Okay. So now what is this? This is an object. And what is this? This is a tool. So if I will take my selection tool and select the whole thing, so you will notice that as soon as I will select it, it will directly move from tool to object because this is the object. Okay. Then we have frames here. So if I will click on any one of these, right now I don't have any frame. Yeah, I have only one frame right now. And it goes to frame. Now, this whole thing is a document canvas. So if I will click anywhere outside, I will go to the document because this is showing me the properties of the document. Now, document have different options here. Snapping means like, if you're creating some objects and you want to keep them together. So if the snapping is on, as soon they will come to the contact of each other and very close to each other, they will snap. So it's better. It's good for aligning objects. So it's already open. Snap alignment is already open. Show ruler if you want to see a ruler, just like this. Or if you want to lock your guides, if you have any guides. Okay. So what are the guides? Basically, if I will turn on my ruler, I can click on the horizontal ruler and vertical ruler and create guides like this. Now, what are these guides? These guides are helping me to draw perfectly aligned picture. Now, these are movable, but if I don't want them to move, I can lock them with the lock guides option. So now I will not be able to move them. So I will unlock it and I will remove them back on the top and hide the ruler. Now I have here publishing profile. This one you don't have to worry about right now. Once we will start exporting our like animation, then we will come and see here what it is. But basically here what we have to look at right now, our size of the canvas is 550 width and 400 pixels height. These are in pixels. 500 or 550 pixels width, 400 pixels height. Now I can change the size of it if I want a bigger one. Suppose I want full HD. I can go here and type here 1920. Okay. And 1080. So now you can see that. Let me zoom out. To zoom out, you can press Alt on your keyboard and use your, Control on your keyboard, and you can use your mouse wheel button to zoom out. Or if you want a perfectly fit document, you can go over here and you will notice there is a magnification option here. Here you can use show frame or fit in window is better. So fit in window, it will show you the whole thing. Okay. So I can select all of this, put it here. So now I'm inside my object because my object is selected. Now what it is showing the position. I can move it wherever I want from with my mouse, or I can use these values to move it. Also, I can resize it from here. Okay. But it is resizing non-uniformly. So to uniform resize, you have to lock the width and height values together. So now if you will lock it, so you can change the size to whatever you want, and it will be all together. If you don't want to change the size from here, you can use the free transform tool from here. You will get this just like in Photoshop, and you can increase the size. But unlike Photoshop, it will be non-uniform. Unlike the new version of Photoshop, like 2020 or 2020 version of Photoshop, if you will resize it, it will be non-uniform. So you have to press Shift on your keyboard while resizing, so it will stay uniform. That's how you will get it. Okay. So this is how you create items here, and this is how these all tools work. Now, in the document, we know now how to change the size of your document. And from here, we have stage color. What is the stage color? The canvas background color. And what is that? White. You can change it to any color you want. Now, when you change the size, if for example, if let me undo it and see if it will change the size of it. So notice when I change the size of my document to 1920 by 1080p, it only changed the size of the canvas itself. It didn't change the size of uh, my object that I have. Object stays same size, but only thing that changed was the canvas itself. What if, let me undo it. Now we are back to where we started. Now, what if I wanted to change the size of my canvas, plus I wanted to change the size of my object as well. To do that, you have to turn on scale content. So if I will change the size of my canvas, like suppose 1920 1080, because I cannot do 1080 now because both are changing uniformly as scale content is on. So if your scale content is on, they are both are locked, so you cannot unlock it. So I think this is the best size to keep everything uniform. And you can see that the size is changed, plus the content sizes as well is changed. And I will keep it as it was before, smaller size, better to work on for practice purposes. But for your projects and everything, try to keep it full HD. Okay. So frame per second is for the animation purposes. Now let's uh, come at the main thing, which is our timeline. Now in Photoshop, you didn't have the timeline. So this is for the first time you're learning about the timeline. Now what is a timeline? Timeline is the frame that you are looking at right now. Okay. Now what is an animation? Animation multimedia, the element of multimedia, works on basis of frames. So first frame, you have a character staring at you. Second frame, he's closing his eyes. Third frame, he's opening the eyes. Then he started to talk. Then each frame is a different picture of the same object. So when you play all of them together in a sequence, it looks like it's a video. So that's the animation. That's what the animation is. So here, each frame, you are going to make a different picture and you will be getting the animation out of it. Now, there are a lot of items over here, but you don't have to worry about it, each and every one of it right now, because as we will move forward, you will learn. And some of them, you don't even have to know if you're starting for for the first time and you're doing just the basics. Okay. Now, we have here the first frame. Always the first frame is known as the keyframe, where you have a main like character of the character. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's make a simple one instead of a a complex object. We'll create a simple object here. Let's make a ground. I will take my rectangle tool from here. So as soon as I will click on it, I will move to tool. That's the good thing about Adobe Animate. It will just, whatever you will select, it will give you its property to you. So we will choose the rectangle. What color you want, you can choose any color here. I will choose this color, maybe suppose bluish. Stroke means like outline, border. I don't need any border or outline. I will just create a fill. Now here is my layer of the timeline. Just like in Photoshop, you have layers. So this layer, I can double click it, rename it to ground. Now it's a ground layer, so I can create like a simple ground here. Okay. Now I can make a folder just like in Photoshop. I can delete this layer. I can hide or unhide. I can lock this layer. So I will lock it, but not hide it. Lock means now I cannot do anything. You can see that it's giving me error. So would you like to unlock? No, I don't want, but I will not be able to work on this layer. I will not be able to move this layer because it is locked now. That's great. Just like in Photoshop, you have all these, so you don't have to worry about it. Next thing what I will do now is that I will make a new layer and I will create a ball. I will click here. A new layer will be created and I will rename this layer to ball. Now I can create a ball by myself, just only a simple like oval tool and create a ball, or I can go to assets and I can go to statics and check if I have a ball here somewhere. I don't think I have a ball here. So let's make a ball by myself. I'll take the ball. As soon as I will click on here, it will give me the same options. I want a ball of a red color maybe. And I can have a stroke like an outline of a black color. Now I will make a ball here on the stage. So I have a ball with a black outline. Now this black outline is not thick enough. So what I can do, I can take my selection tool and click on the outline, the stroke of my ball. So as soon as I will click on the stroke of my ball, it will show me the properties of that stroke. Now the stroke size is quite small. It's like 1 pixels. That's why it is too small. So if you want, you can click on it, type a value, higher value. I have selected 5. Now it has become a bit thicker, or you can use slider. Okay. Or simply you can click here and use this as a slider. Just like in Photoshop you can have a different sort of a width style here, like something like this or something like this. So totally up to you, but I will keep it solid. These are the way you want the width to be. So I will keep it normal one, which is the first one, and rest everything I will keep as it is. Now these are where you want, like what kind of stroke you want. So you can check all of them and see what kind of strokes you can make. But this is what I needed right now. So I have a stroke and I have a ball. So how many objects we have? Actually, we don't have a ball. We don't have a one object. We have 2 objects here. One is a ball fill. Another one is the ball stroke. So if I will click on the ball fill and try to move it, you will see only fill will move. And if I will click on the stroke of the ball and move, only the stroke of the ball will move. So in order to move both of them together, you have to just select all of them like this and then move it around. But sometimes you might not do that, and by mistake you will just move this and your animation will go wrong. And another thing is that right now my object is like a shape itself, and I cannot apply any sort of motion animation on it. Now why I cannot apply motion animation on it? Because motion animation are only applied on those objects that are known as symbols. Now this is not a symbol, it is just like a shape which I created. I have to animate it, but in order to animate it, I have to first convert this into a symbol. Very simple to do that. I have a ground and I don't want to animate the ground, so I will leave it as it is. But ball, I want to animate it, so I have to convert them into a symbol. Now symbol will do 2 things. First, it will combine my stroke and my ball together. So I don't have to worry about moving them like separately or selecting all of them and then moving. It will automatically combine both of them together and I can freely move them wherever I want. So now what I will do here is that, and second thing is that I will be able to animate it, because right now I cannot animate it. So simple to convert anything into symbol, you just have to select the whole thing, including every part that you want. Like in my case, stroke and fill, both of them I will select. Then I will go to modify. Inside the modify, I have convert to symbol. Now there are 3 different types of symbols. movie clip, button, and graphic. Now this is a graphic basically, not a movie clip. What is a movie clip? A, a moving animation of a movie, like a small clip of a movie, which is playing in itself. This is not a movie clip. It's like an object, which is a static object. So that means it's a graphic. Because obviously it's not a button. We are not creating any sort of a game or controllers here. You're just working on a simple animation. So it's not a movie clip because nothing is animated inside it. It's like graphic. I will choose graphic. Now this is the registration point. Now what is the registration point? From where you want to move it or rotate it. So my ball will be bouncing and the base of my ball is on the ground. So it's all, so I can keep it, my registration on the bottom here. Or I can leave it and later on I can change it, but it's better to choose where you want it to have a base. I want the base on the bottom, that's all. And I will choose this. But later on you can change it, so nothing to worry about. I will not go inside the advanced option here. So I will keep it closed. Now in the name, you can name it whatever you want. I want, so I can name it ball. As soon I will create a, like I will name it ball and press OK, this will become a symbol. You can see that it is a graphic symbol and the name of it is ball. And the same symbol now you can find in the library. You can see that it's in the library. The ground is not a symbol because I just created. I didn't convert it into a symbol. So it's not in the library. Only the ball is in the library. And you can see it shows where is the registration point. And here you can see that there is a registration point here as well. Now I can go back to my properties here. And I can move it wherever I want. I will keep it here. Okay. My ball is here on the first frame. Now, the animation is that the ball, for example, let's do one thing. Let's move the ball here. Up. Okay. And or let's keep it, let's move it down. And I will create a new layer here and draw a rectangle now with a different color, but no stroke. So if I will click on stroke and click on this button, that means no stroke. Same thing you can do with the fill, but fill I want it to be a green color or any other color, like suppose this color. And I will create a box here. And you can see as my snapping is on, just like I told you like before. So it is allowing me to snap here. So I'm sure that this is the base and it's not going down here. So that's what snapping will help me to do. And I will move this a bit like here. Now I don't want to animate it, so I don't have to convert this into a symbol. Simple. I will rename this layer to box and lock this layer so it is not animatable. And one more thing I can do is that I can drag this down, this layer under the ball. So ball can be the topest layer. Just like in Photoshop, you have the layers. Now the trick is, on the first frame, I want the ball to be here. And I want it to animate like the ball jumps over here. So this is my first keyframe. Initially, the keyframe, I want the ball to be here. And the second, the last keyframe, I want the ball to be here. So for example, my animation right now, like these are the time limit, like these are the frames. I want the animation to be 2 seconds long. So you will see here, right over the time you have seconds, 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. And every second have 24 frames. Because right now my frame rate is 24 frames in 1 second. So in 1 second, it is showing me 24 frames. This is what movies use. You can change it to 60. You can change it to 30. It's up to you. But for this project, I will keep it 24 because 24 is standard for animation for movies and stuff. And 60 is natural our eye usually are able to see 60 frame per second in reality. But if we see 24 frame per second, is a bit slower than usual. And that's why it's easy to guess what is going on the screen, because we are watching the things in slower speed. So that's why movies and animation have 24 frame per second. So I want to create a 2 seconds animation. So I will go to frame 50 and I will make another keyframe here. Now, what is the keyframe I want to create? I want to create a keyframe that the ball is here. Okay. So simple to do that. I cannot pull the ball here because what it will do, yeah, just wait. Yeah. So that what it will do is that if I will do the same thing, uh, and on the frame 50, oops, let's go to frame 50 and move the ball here. Now, issue will be that my box is gone, my ground is gone. The reason why it is gone is that because we were not animating that, we were only animating the ball. The first thing is that I have to extend the box and I have to extend the ground. Now, if I will go to box, I will go to frame 50 and I want the ball or the box to show in all these frames from 0 to 50. Same thing on the ground, I want to show it from 0 to 50. If I will go to frame 1, 2, 3, it won't show right now because my slider is here. So slider is the main thing that shows you your frame. So I'm just pressing. I'm not going through here. I'm just pressing. So it's not like I'm just going through and showing you the animation. It's the main thing, your slider. My slider cannot move because I don't have enough frames. I only have one frame here, one frame here, one frame here. So it will stay here. So I will go to the box. Then I will go to the 50th frame of the box. And I will extend this. To extend this, I will go to Insert, Timeline, Frame. Shortcut is F5. So if I will press Frame, so you will see now I can move my slider. Right? So now I can move the slider. And you will see the box layer is like extended from 0 to 50. You can see this all, the whole thing is gray. Gray means the frame. It's a big frame which starts from 0 and ends at 50. Okay, so it's one frame only. You got the idea? But if I go to the first frame, then I can see the ball and I can see the ground. Why I cannot see the ball in the ground here? Because there is no frame here. You can see that's all empty. This dark gray area seems like all empty. Same thing I will do with the ground. I will go to the frame 50. I will click here, frame 50 of the ground. Insert, timeline, and frame. And now my ground is also extended. Okay. But for the ball, I'm not going to extend it because I'm going to animate it. Box and ground, my plan was not to animate them, but my plan was to show them during the whole animation. That's why I have to extend them. Otherwise, they will only they will be only available on first frame and then suddenly they will be gone, which is not right. Okay, so now I have extended them till frame 50. Now I will go to the frame 50 of the ball. Okay, and what I will do here is that I will go to insert again, timeline, and instead of frame, I will choose keyframe. What is a keyframe? Keyframe is like your initial stage and the end stage of your animation, the main animation. So if I will press on keyframe, you will notice that I don't have same thing as I have on box and ground. On box and ground, you will see it's a whole frame itself. But for the ball, I have another frame just like I have it in the beginning. So if you will notice, the ball frame from 0 starts and ends at frame 49. but at frame 50, a new keyframe starts. Okay, so let's see how the keyframes works. First keyframe, I will keep the ball here. Second and the last keyframe, I will change its state, and I will move it up here. Now, if I will go back, you can see that the ball, I want it to start on the ground, and then in the end, I want the ball to be on the top of this box. So I know this is how my animation will look like. So this is the keyframes. First keyframe, I want the ball to be on the ground. Last keyframe, I want the ball to be on the top. These keyframes are basically telling you your plan of your animation. In between, this is called just the breakdowns or frames or in betweens, whatever. Like there are many different names for it. Usually, I call them the breakdown keys, or you can say these are in between keys. In between keys, you don't have to worry about, because Adobe Animate will create the in between keys for you by itself. To create an in between key, you just have to simply go to Insert and create Classic Tween. If you will click on Create Classic Tween, you will see that it will look like this. Okay, and there is a purple line here, and there is an arrow here. Now, if I will go to the first frame and start dragging my sliders, you can see the ball is now moving. So what you only gave Adobe Animate was the first frame, the last frame. And in between, everything is automatically created by Adobe Animate. Okay. So if I will play this, it will be like this. So this is how your first animation has been created. Now there are different principles of animation, which we will discuss in our later classes, but this is how basically your animation works. Now suppose if I go here, I don't want this to hit the box, because if it is hitting the box, that makes the animation a little wrong. It's hitting first of all, and then it is overlapping. So I want the ball not to go in this direction. I want the ball, for example, let me show you. I want the ball to go like this. Okay, just like this, not the way it is going right now. So simple, what I will do is that I can go to anywhere in between. Okay, take my ball here. First, like click here in between. Like suppose from here, I want it to go up, or maybe here, like wherever you feel. Click on that frame. I have clicked on this frame, and insert, and timeline, and keyframe, and then I can move it up. Now you will see that it's going up, and then it goes like this. Or if you want, you can move it more up here, so it will show like this. Okay, so if I will play, it will be like this. Now timings and everything we can change later on. So this is your properties, as you all know. So we have seen the properties of the objects. We have seen the properties of the document, but let's see properties of the frames. So if I will select the first frame here, it will show me the property of the frame. You can label a frame if you want. Okay, so it will show the name of the frame, but at this stage, I don't want to name any frame. Layer name is enough for me. Type of frame, basically type of frame you use if you're working on a game, if you're producing a game here, you're creating a game or any sort of application, because in Adobe Animate, you can create games also, 2D games or 3D games also, virtual reality games also. So for that purposes, you use this, but at this stage, we are not using that. Tweening. What is the tweening? Remember, to animate it, we went to insert and we created like a classic tween. Okay, so that's what the tweening is. So we have here the tweening option. Okay. So everything is set up automatically. You don't have to worry about it. Rotation, we don't have any rotation. Otherwise, in our next classes, we will start with the rotation and we'll see how rotation works. So we'll get more into detail. Suppose you don't want to animate it anymore. So you can go to insert, remove classic tween. So all the tween that you have added here will be removed. Like suppose if I will remove it, now you can see from here to here, it's not animating. Animates from here. That's not something you want actually. Okay. So you can go to insert, create classic tween, or you can click in between any one of the keyframes. Like this is the keyframe, this is the keyframe, and you can go in between. So create classic tween, or you have options here inside the frame. Create classic tween or create motion tween. Motion tween we will see later on, but usually we don't use that a lot. I prefer to use classic tween. So I will click here and it will do the same thing. And if you don't want to remove, just click it there. You can add sound effects and everything, which we will do in the later classes, but this is what you will get when you are working on the animation here. Simple animation you can create. What if you feel your animation is quite slow? If you feel your animation is slow, you can select all the layers. Okay. Or what you can do is that whatever layer you feel is slow, you can select that. But in my case, I want to change the length of my animation and I want to resize the length of my animation. So I've like for everything that I have. So I will select all of them with the shift key. I will select the first one and then the last one. All of them will be selected, or you can press control key and select one by one. That's also you can do. Once everything is selected, because in my case, as I told you, I want to decrease the size, the length of my animation for all of them. So I can select all of them and you will notice that there is a yellow bar at the end. Yellow bar means from this point, you can stretch it to make it more slower, or you can squeeze it to make it more faster. So I will squeeze it, the whole animation to 1 second. And now if you will play, it is more faster now. That's it. Other thing is, if you will notice, I like this part, but I don't like this part because this is slow. This is okay as it is faster, but this is slow. So from here to here, it's fine. From here to here, it is slow. So what if you want to change a particular part, part? So what you can do is that instead of selecting all the layers, you can just go on the first frame and like you just have to click and drag till the whole thing is selected that you want. Okay, so you have to do in this way. Sometimes when anyone starts Adobe Animate, he might do this mistake. He might just click on this frame, the middle frame, or any other frame, and wait for a while and then start dragging and selecting whole thing. That will not work. That will move that frame to any other layer. Okay. If you want to select anything, you just have to select, and without leaving or without releasing your mouse button, you have to drag it, because as soon you will release your mouse button, it will select that particular frame, and then next time when you will start dragging, it will drag that particular frame. So you have to click without releasing the mouse, drag it in order to select anything. So that's how I will select it. And let's do one thing here. Yeah. And then you will see the same yellow bar, but this time it will not resize or squeeze or like stretch or squeeze my whole timeline. It will only stretch and squeeze this particular frames, these particular frames that I have selected right now. So if I will go here and squeeze it down or squeeze it, so you can see that that particular part is and like squeezing. Now if I will play it, this is actually what I was looking for. Okay, so this is how you can create your own animation and just like that. So I hope that it's quite clear, like by now it's kind of clear what is the basics of Adobe Animate and how it works and how it goes later on. There are a couple of more other things that we have, like that we have here: edit symbols, that the symbols that we have created, how to add scenes, what are the scenes, how scenes work, what are these options here. So, and what do we have here? So these all will learn in detail in our next part of animation of Adobe Animate, and we'll see how it works, how it goes like later on. So any questions if you have, so just let me know now, so we can I can answer them, and then as I said, we'll continue from here in our next class. So is everything clear, and any questions do you have? Okay, so that's all for today. Keep track of your assignments. Keep checking them on. I will be checking them like sooner, because not all of them are uploaded. So I'm just waiting for all of them to get uploaded so I can start grading them. So take care, everyone. We'll continue from here in our next class.